Good morning students, welcome back to your chemistry class. Today we shall discuss our chapter number 6, metals and non-metals. On the basis of general properties, elements are classified into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Till now more than 115 elements are discovered, and out of these 24 are non-metals. Some are metals, some are non-metals and some are metalloids. So we shall discuss about each of these one by one. First is general properties of metals. Metals are generally hard, strong, and there are some examples of metals. For example, potassium, sodium, calcium, aluminium, etc. So these are generally hard and strong. Now we shall discuss about the properties of metals one by one. Properties of metals. Metals are generally lustrous. They have metallic luster. Metallic luster means shine. Means metals have their own shine. See, this is a small metal plate. It has its own shine. So we can say metals are lustrous. Next point is metals are generally hard and strong. Metals cannot break easily. They have even high tensile strength. Means when we stretch the metals from end to end, it does not break easily. It can withstand the long tensile strength. That is why there are long cables that are made to carry the heavy load from one point to another point or one position to another position, because metals can withstand heavy loads because they have high tensile strength. But there is some exceptions. Sodium and potassium are soft metals and they can be cut with a knife, and mercury is a liquid at ordinary conditions, that is at room temperature. Next one is metals are sonorous. Sonorous means they produce clink sound when they are struck with each other, and that is why you must have heard the ring of the bell in your school, that is made up of metal also. This is because of the sonorous property of metals. They produce high sounds. Next one is metals are generally have high density. Metals are generally solids and solids have high density. That is why metals have high density. But there is some exceptions. Potassium, sodium and magnesium. Exception is for potassium, sodium and magnesium and aluminium. They have comparatively low densities. It is not that their density is low, but their density is low than the other metals. So you have to learn these exceptions. Next one is fifth point, metals generally have high melting point and boiling point. Metals have high melting point and boiling point. And there is also some exceptions. The metals like mercury freezes at -37 degrees Celsius and boils at 357 degrees Celsius. So you have to learn this one exception also for mercury, having the symbol Hg. Next point is metals are malleable. Malleable means metals can be beaten into sheets. That is why aluminium foil, you can see it is beaten into sheets, and due to this property of metals, they can be made large sheets of metals. Next one is metals are ductile. Malleability means they can be beaten into sheets. Ductility. Metals are ductile means they can be drawn into wires. See, metals can be drawn into wires, but on the metals we need some insulation to prevent any kind of accidents. Due to this property of metals, they are used to make many wires. Most likely copper is used for making wires because copper is a very good conductor of electricity. Next point is metals are good conductors of heat. Good conductors of heat. It means that heat can easily pass through metals, and due to this property we use metals for making utensils. That is why we can cook easily food in the utensils, because heat from utensils passes to the food and food is cooked. Next point is metals are good conductors of electricity. Good conductors of electricity. As metals are good conductors of heat, they are also good conductors of electricity, as electricity can pass easily through the metals. That is why the wires are made up of metals, and most likely the copper wires are made of for the purpose of electricity. And also silver is a very good conductor of electricity, having the symbol Ag. Silver is very good conductor of electricity, but it is very costly. So that is why copper is used instead of the silver. It is even good conductor of electricity than copper. It is good, very good conductor. Copper is good, but it is costly, so we use copper. Next we shall discuss about non-metals. Non-metals. In contrast to metals, non-metals are not known for their strength, and out of 24 non-metals, 12 are solid, total are 24, out of which 12 are solid. For example, carbon. There you must have studied about forms of carbon like graphite, diamond. These are solid forms of carbon. 12 are solids. Example, carbon, phosphorus, sulfur. These are solids, non-metals, and one is liquid, that is bromine. it is liquid, and 11 are gases. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, these all are gases. Hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, helium, neon, all these are non-metals. Carbon have valency 4, but I am writing it as atoms. Now we shall discuss about the properties of non-metals. Properties. These properties of non-metals are in contrast to metals. The very first property is solid non-metals are non-lustrous, means they do not have their own shine. These are non-lustrous. Next property of non-metals is solids non-metals are not hard. Like metals were hard, non-metals are not hard and they have low tensile strength. Because they are not hard, so they have very low tensile strength. They cannot withstand the strength when it is applied to the non-metals. And there is some exception. Diamond is a very hard solid. So you must learn the exception. It is for diamond. It is a very hard non-metal. And the next one is third property. Metals are non-sonorous. Not sonorous. Means they do not produce clink sound when they are struck with one another. Like in case of metals, they were sonorous. These are non-sonorous. Next point is non-metals have low density. They have low density. And there is some exceptions also for non-metal bromine. It is having high density. Exception is for bromine. And the fifth point is non-metals have low melting points and boiling points. Low melting and boiling points. Like metals have high melting and boiling points and non-metals have low melting and boiling point. And there is also exception for carbon, which is having very high temperature, which melts at very high temperature. This is for diamond. Carbon has many forms, diamond, graphite, coke. So carbon has a high melting point. Next point is solid non-metals are brittle rather than malleable. Means when we try to beat them into sheets, they break. That is why we said that non-metals are brittle. They are not malleable, instead they are brittle. And seventh point is non-metals are not ductile. Means we cannot draw the non-metals into wires. Not ductile. The next point is non-metals are bad conductors of heat and also they are bad conductors of electricity. So we can write bad conductors of heat, means heat cannot pass through the non-metals. That is why we do not cook the food in plastic utensils, because they itself burns and does not conduct the heat to go to the food. Next, they are bad conductors of electricity. So these were the properties of non-metals. They do not allow the electricity to easily pass through them. That is why non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Next we shall discuss about metalloids or semi-metals. Metalloids. We also say them semi-matter, semiconductors or semi-metals. Why we say them semi-metals? Because the properties of metalloids lies in between metals and non-metals. Metalloids are also called semiconductors and are the elements which are having the properties intermediate. Intermediate between metals and non-metals. So their properties lies in between metals and non-metals. Intermediate means in between. Intermediate means in between. So their properties lies in between metals and non-metals. Students, the examples of metalloids is boron, silicon. For example, boron, silicon, etc. So these are the metalloids. Germanium is also very important example, arsenic and antimony. So these are having the properties in between metals and non-metals. You can easily learn their properties. Next we shall discuss about alloys. Alloys. A solid solution, that is a homogeneous mixture of a metal with other metals or non-metals, is called an alloy. Means it is a solid solution with some homogeneous, means whose composition is uniform. Homogeneous mixture of metals with other metals means we mix some metals and non-metals together to form alloy. And for example, steel is an alloy of iron, manganese, and carbon. So by mixing, this is non-metal, mixing metal, non-metal and metals, we get alloy. And the brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Copper plus zinc. And an alloy is usually harder and stronger than the parent metal. That is why alloying is done. And at the same time it resists corrosion. We shall discuss about corrosion in this video later. And it is done because it is stronger than the parent metal. Means steel is stronger than the iron. That is why we are preparing steel from the iron, manganese and carbon to enhance its properties. Next one is gold alloys. Pure gold is soft and therefore it is not suitable for making jewelry. So we need to prepare the gold alloy, and it is made harder and stronger by mixing with silver and copper and sometimes both. And this is still malleable, means we can then convert it into the sheets. Next one is amalgams. Amalgams are of alloys of mercury, means mercury alloys. The word amalgam means mercury alloys. When we mix mercury with some metals, then we say that it is an alloy of mercury or amalgam. Alloys of mercury are called amalgams. Silver and tin amalgams are used for dentistry purpose. For dentistry purposes, we use amalgams of silver and tin and gold alloys for jewelry. Other amalgams have laboratory and industrial uses. Next we shall discuss about uses of metals. Some metals we shall discuss about their uses. The first one is iron. Iron is used in construction of buildings, for preparing pipes, cylinders, agricultural tools, mechanical tools, wires, railings, etc. And to prevent iron from rusting, we sometimes galvanize iron. It means on the iron we made a layer of zinc metal. Galvanizing is related with zinc metal. To prevent the iron from rusting, we made iron with a layer of zinc metal upon it. And iron is coated with tin to make a car, and non-stick utensils are made of iron coated with some polymer that you will learn in higher classes, and they can withstand high temperature. Next we shall discuss about the uses of copper. Having symbol Cu. Copper, as I have already told, it is a very good conductor of electricity, but only next to silver. Silver is more good conductor of electricity, and it is used for making wires. Being a very good conductor, it is also used for making utensils because heat can easily pass through copper. Next one is aluminium. Aluminium is also a good conductor of electricity, but poorer than copper, and it is used for making sheets like in which food can be wrapped, and for many other purposes like for wrapping the medicines and for making the wires, because it is also a good conductor of electricity, and it is especially made for foils for packaging of food. Next one is magnesium. Magnesium is used for firework because it produces beautiful colors. When burnt, this metal produces beautiful colors, so it is used for making firework. Like you might have seen in Diwali some crackers in which magnesium is used. Next we shall discuss about zinc. Zinc metal is used for galvanizing other metals. Suppose this is iron, so we made a layer of zinc over the iron to prevent it from rusting, and this process is called galvanization of iron. Means we are protecting one metal by coating it with another metal. This is zinc. It is used for galvanizing iron and also to make dry cell. It is also used in dry cells. Next one is mercury. Mercury is the only metal found in the liquid state, at ordinary conditions, means at ordinary room temperature it is at a liquid state, and it does not stick to glass. If we place the mercury in some test tube, it would not stick to the glass. It would be like this one. It does not stick to the glass, and that is why it is used for making thermometers. Like in thermometers, there is the mercury, and it also shows the properties of expansion. Next one is, it is also used in thermometers. Next one is next one is lead. Lead was used in the for using lead pipes that are used in plumbing, but that use has been stopped because it is a poisonous metal and it would be harmful for the living creatures. So that is why the plumbing use of lead pipes is discontinued. And now lead is mostly used in storage batteries, like inverter batteries you have seen in your home. In those, the lead is used in storage batteries, which are rechargeable and give us steady voltage in storage batteries. In inverter battery there is also lead, and it is used in rechargeable batteries. Next one is silver. Silver is a very white, shiny metal, and it is used for many purposes. It is also used in jewelry, for making jewelry ornaments, and it is used for silvering mirror. Jewelry, silvering mirror, and it is also used for electroplating. Electroplating is the process that you will learn in higher classes. It is also the process of coating silver over the other metal by passing electrical current, and it is also used in Ayurvedic and Unani medicines. Silver coils are used for decorating sweets. And next one is gold. Gold is also a very costly metal, and it is used for making ornaments, jewelry, and it has its own yellow sheen. Sheen means shine. It has its own yellow sheen, and it is noble metal. Has nobility. Noble metal means it does not react with others. That is why jewelries, ornaments are made of gold, because they do not react with others. And gold is a precious metal and used for jewelry. It is also used for Ayurvedic and Unani medicines. And like silver, it is also used for electroplating. It is used for electroplating silver or bronze. Next we shall discuss about platinum.